Hey guys, come on in. Welcome to Elder's Corner. Come on in, guys. Hey.
Hey.
Oh my God. Hi, my name is Elder Nessa, and welcome to Elder's Corner. For all of you newcomers, Elder's Corner is a place where spirituality meets reality. And what that means that me being an ordained elder will always have guests, and we're going to encounter spirituality from a point of urban disbelief, non-traditions. We just going to just learn to love and love to learn. Today, my very special guest is Kiki. How you doing, Kiki?
Good.
I'm so glad you decided to come to the Elders Corner today. How are you? Tell the people a little bit about you.
Okay, so my name is Kiki. I'm a CAC, which is a Certified Application Counselor, neutral with the New York State of Health.
What?
Yeah.
What, girl? You're neutral with the New York State of Health?
Yes. So
come on, baby.
But I've been knowing Nessa for quite some time now, and she's been quite of an inspiration. So it's really a pleasure to be here.
Yo, that is such a blessing for you to say that. Oh my God. You know, you never know who God used you to be an inspiration for. And I just thank God that not only did she always encounter not just the spirituality, we worked together, we were colleagues. You guys know that I'm in the medical field. You guys know that right now I'm just a certified phlebotomist, but Kiki's always been a medical office manager. She has some MA experience. And so we had the opportunity about a year ago, to work for a company that was failing, and we decided to use our skills and talented, and we grew there.
Yes, we did.
I thank God for being in a desolated place, and there was life, and we were able to grow.
Yes.
Not only we grew mentally and medically, but we grew a friendship, a sisterhood.
Definitely.
I love this little girl. You hear me? And, and I'm just so glad she decided that during this COVID-19 time, she decided to take a week off from being home and come spend time with me and my family. And so I decided that she would be a great co-host on the Elders Corner. You guys, lately I've been going through a lot, and I know y'all think like, oh, you're a preacher and you close to God. But let me tell you something. Being close to God doesn't mean that I don't have to fight. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean I have to fight to stay with integrity. It doesn't mean that I don't fight when issues arise. And the old Nelson, y'all know I'm a recovering addict. Like my stuff don't kick up. So I just thank God that, I have the ability to really just stand on his word. And so that's what made me separate. Right now, my daughter's dealing with mental health during the COVID-19. I never really explained my family dynamic. So this is an opportunity for me to share a little bit about who I am. I've been married. I've been with my husband for 12 years. We have 4 beautiful kids. I have a 20-year-old son. He'll be 20 on April the 30th. Happy birthday, Desi. My mister, that's my baby. That's my baby. That's my only son. And then I have Amara. She's 19. And then I have Taima. She's 18. And then there's Zara. And she's 12. And so Taima is the one that always had issues dealing with life on life terms and having the tenacity and the capability to deal with her decisions. She always made decisions, and us knowing that she had this mental condition enabled her in some ways. And she's making some very bad decisions. She right now is in a therapeutic community in which I think it's been a disservice for her because she still runs away. She's sexually active, and now she's dealing with, drugs. And so this is real hard for a parent. You know what I'm saying? Someone who prays. We're a praying family. My husband is Muslim. And what people don't understand, he does his own rakats in his own quiet space. I walk in the room and he's doing dua. You know what I'm saying? Me, I openly pray. Y'all know I shows out on Sunday. And I could be in my car if you're around with me and I catch one of my little gospel songs, I might catch the Holy Ghost on you. You know, that's just who I am and I trust God. But this has really been dealing with me mentally. You know what I'm saying? And so, right now, she ran away. She tried to run in front of some cars just to get to the hospital.
If
And
you don't mind me, Nessa, I just want to put my point of view as a millennial into
okay.
this situation.
Okay.
So, from what I'm seeing, is that there were certain events that have occurred. And due to certain events, there's certain emotions that are being brought about. One of those emotions are embarrassment. When people are embarrassed, they don't want to be around people that they love because they know that they disappointed them. Even if they know the right thing to do, and even if that pull, whatever that pull is, I don't know what to call that pull. Everybody
Right.
knows what the pull is. You know what that feeling is when you know you're supposed to be doing right and you end up doing what you know you're not supposed to do.
That's spiritual. Paul had an issue like that in the Bible, in the book of Acts. Paul always cried to God, as Paul got his calling. Paul was a law keeper. You know what I'm saying? He was a Jewish law keeper, and it was by any means necessary. You're gonna do what the law say do, or you're gonna get the consequences in which the law. And that's who Paul was. And when Paul met God, Paul dealt with his own sins, and so he prayed all the time to God. God, these things that I do, I wish I ain't doing them, but I find myself doing it. And so it explains what you're saying to me and what I'm getting. It's with the spirit and the carnal are fighting.
Right.
And so that is something within Paul. I know my daughter is dealing with that, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, you have to be able to vocalize and say, this is what it is. So that we have the ability to process.
Right.
With her, it's I'm going to do whatever I do. And then I'm going to crutch it. I want to go to the hospital because you don't want to be addressed. The last time she ran away to have sex. She met somebody online. Went to the pool, told me and her father she was going to the pool. It was medication time, so he ran downstairs to give her medication. When he got there, she was gone. We ran around, we're behoovered, we went to the precinct. The very next day, her biological mother called and said, come get her, she's here, and she lied. So when we went over there, she was doing all of this mental stuff that she always do. Mm-hmm. And then I left the medicine. I said, Jackie, just let us stay here. And my husband agreed. We gave her her meds. She calmed down. The very next day, she attempted to fight her mother and ran away and came back and lied and said somebody raped her. 5 people raped her on the train. All because you get to the hospital, then you go to the program, and then you say, oh, mama, it was consensual sex. Don't be mad it was consensual sex. But we know it was consensual sex. But why you have to be here to tell the truth?
The only good thing is that she do have family to support her. Because even if it was that was the case and somebody scared her into saying that it wasn't the case, that she still had a family there to support her. But I always look from every point of view. So I'm not going to say that she's wrong or she's right.
What? Right.
Because when in life, we grow up to learn and live and learn.
Right.
So as she's going, nobody's going to listen to when nobody tells them. You got to bump your head along the way and you got to learn for yourself. It reminds me of a friend. It goes back to that story that you told about how God punished the man who kept doing You remember back to the reference that you referred to a couple of minutes ago?
Paul, no, but I'm talking about Paul dealing with himself. And it was a war within himself, the good and the bad.
Yes.
The sin against the flesh, and the flesh and they warring. And so that was a war within himself. And so I equated that with my daughter mentally, and I get that.
Right.
And then so I explained the testimony of how this whole situation arose, where she creates this false narrative and create this whole big situation, and the only people really have to deal with the consequences is me, her brothers and siblings, and her father. Her father is a certain age, worried all night, up all night. He had a seizure.
Yeah.
So this really affects.
Yeah, and you're right. But I did learn that it's almost the same, but in different ways. There's just different severity levels. Like my little brother, my father is getting really old, and it's like for some reason it's like nobody can say anything to get through to him. The severity level is not as high as the situation that you just mentioned,
right?
But it's still them not having any regards for anyone around them that's taking care of them,
and
because they're just growing into life. But they're not just gonna know certain things coming into life, and they're not gonna really taking consideration of what people saying, because they're not going through certain things. So in order for them to learn lessons, they have to go through them.
I get it. If you have any information or anything that you know that can help me or help my family to understand what she's dealing with and how we can cope, please leave a comment and a message. And I promise you, we'll get right with you, for the next broadcast. We can go live and we can just do an open forum. This COVID-19 season is one of them seasons that so many different emotions and stuff is arising. The dangers of poor mentality during this COVID season is just really at a high rise. And that's what kind of make it worse. Like as for me and my family, we don't not only deal with the fact that our daughter has this mental condition, but when you're running away in the streets and you don't know what you're exposing yourself to. But what about the people that's in their household?
Right.
Not able to leave their house, and they're in the house with their abuser. Or they're in the house with someone who's dealing with a mental condition, and they don't realize that person has a mental condition and they're abusing them.
Yes, that's something that I did want to mention too. To all the females, we didn't forget about you. There's a lot of females out there during this COVID-19 pandemic who has been trapped in the house with their abusers. Sometimes the only way out is to work or to school or something.
Right.
But these children that are being abused, these females that are being physically and mentally abused, they are trapped with their abusers. And there's no way that anyone can help, because you call help, it gets worse.
And if you're watching this episode and you need some help, put help. Put help and try to type your phone number in the comments. If you type help in the comments, I promise you I'm gonna call a hotline for you. There's a 1-800 domestic abuse you can call. And if you can't get to the phone away from them, put help right now in this comment. Leave your phone number, and I promise you I'll have some help get to your phone line and try to get you out of that situation, because this is serious. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we was in the streets looking for my daughter, and this is the recent incident. And I had jumped out the car, and me and my husband were riding around. And I took the flyer out of his hand with the picture of her. And it's a law now in New York. If you don't have a mask, you really can't be in public. They can actually take you and quarantine you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a danger. And so when I jumped out the car and I realized I turned around and I grabbed the mask, because I leave my mask in the car, because in my car I sterilize it. So I reached out, when I put the mask up to walk across the street to the police, they pull off.
Wow.
So, and then we're driving down the street now. There's another law, like if you blink your lights while you're driving, or put your hazard lights on while you're driving, they're supposed to stop you, because that's a sign that there's you're being held against your own will. So like if you're driving a car and you see a cop and you're not able to make any move, and you're with your abuser or kidnapper, you can blink your lights and they supposed to turn around and stop the car. I did that. Did you know no cops stopped for me?
Wow.
So it's real dangerous. During the, because people don't even know if I can help you because I don't know if you're infected with the COVID-19. And you know what I'm saying? And so you're trapped in the house with an individual that's dealing with mental health. Nobody knows this person is dealing with mental health and he's hitting on her or
A
abusing
lot
her.
of these females do not know that these men are suffering from either PTSD or any type of bipolar or anxiety that really makes them snap. And a lot of these females, one of my friends, she recently had an incident.
Right.
And the detective told her, he said, you have to try to cooperate because at the end of the day, a lot of these females don't talk. And his last victim, he found her in her home dead with the door wide open. So if you do have a situation like this, don't be afraid to talk. If you are a child and you are trapped in a home where your only escape was school, do not be afraid to talk. If you are a child going through any problems, don't act out. Do not be afraid to talk. There are people out there who can help.
Don't act out. Don't cause yourself a consequence behind somebody inappropriately making you feel, violating your privacy or even physically beating you. Listen, if you're watching this episode, and I'm going to continue to say this throughout this episode because a lot of people will not. You could be getting abused, and because that's your husband or somebody you're intimate,
father or cousin,
right?
Or
that you love,
or mother.
You never know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? And type help. Type help. Type help. We're gonna try to help you. You know what I'm saying? By Faith Ministry, my church, my pastor is a substance abuse counselor, and he has a lot of connections. You know what I'm saying? If you write help in here, I can get with him. I know the 1-800 domestic abuse hotline. I will contact them, give them your phone number. Listen, it's up to you. You got to choose between life and death, because this is serious. I had a girlfriend call me. She's going through a lot of stuff, with her spouse. And we don't even know how to help her. I don't know how to help her. I can't tell her nothing negative about her spouse. That's her husband. Right. That's her man. He's angry. He's going through whatever he's going through because he's not able to fend for the family, but she is. Is that a reason for him to be angry? No. This is a time for him to be grateful that both of them are alive and not affected with the COVID-19 on respirators.
That are able to have an income coming in the house.
That y'all have somewhere to stay. Mm-hmm. There's homeless people on the streets don't have nowhere to stay during this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Please, I know that this may change your life. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. Listen, before I came to New York, before I even got my life together, I was in an abusive relationship. There's some things that I really never talk about. But my first love, y'all, my pimp, was the one that was beaten. My father never hit me. And then I have a man that I say I love, that I sleep with, that I give my all to. I got to be afraid of you. That's not love.
It's control.
That's not love. And if you love somebody that's hitting on you, you have to get help. You got to get help. I didn't say you did nothing wrong, but you got to get the help. Because they may not understand that this is wrong. Because they may have watched their father beat their mother. Mm-hmm. And if I beat her, she gonna love me. But that's not love.
It's not love. It's control.
It's control. It's abuse. If he's calling you names other than beautiful, other than cupcake, or sexy pumpkin, banana pie. If he ain't calling you names like that, and he's calling you names that degrade you, that hurt you, that have you crying at nighttime, or you don't even want to have sex with him, and you're faking and you're crying because you have to do this or you're going to get hurt. You need to write help in the comments. Write help. We're going to get you some help. You know. And we're going to pray about this situation. I pray that God intervene in your life. I pray that God get in your mind and renew your mind and strengthen your mind. I pray God give you the heart to get out that situation. I pray God open your eyes so that you can see. Because COVID-19 not only brought fear, but it did. And it put a lot of people in danger. A lot of people are hungry. A lot of people can't even get food. Remember, the schools and stuff in New York used to be open so that some people can get a meal a day.
And that goes back to the abuse. Some children and some people are in their own homes and they're being refused of food and resources. And again, that goes back to the abuse.
So, go right back. You should have to beg your parents for food. You should have three meals at least two.
And you shouldn't have to be restricted to do anything in your own home, no, regardless of your age.
Right. Unless you violated the family rules and everybody got them.
Yeah.
Now, you violated the family rules and mom and dad done put you on punishment. You know what you did.
You're right.
But that doesn't mean that on punishment you're not supposed to have a square meal. Because when my children got on punishment, when I took their phones, they ate dinner.
Yeah, that's suburban stuff. You know, they'll be like, you'll go to bed without supper. That's without dinner. I used to think that was just without dessert. No, right. That's without dinner. You're going to bed without supper. But I feel like...
Nah, I ain't never did that.
Anything else. As long as you got 3 meals, it don't even got to be what they like. As long as it has the starch, the protein, and the vegetables.
Straight up. I listen. I know everybody's households are different. I'm just saying, if you need the help, we got on here because we want to just encourage people in this time, and we just want to inform people that there is help out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be in your situation. And I know y'all asking this special question because this is a question that's in my head. Where God at during all this?
He's there.
Where is God? Where is God?
He's there. He's
there. He's with you.
Trust me, because if God wasn't there, I wouldn't be here.
You gonna make me have church in here now? Don't make me have church.
I'll tell you. I really wouldn't mind going into it.
Where is God? God is in this situation with you. He understands what you're going through. Listen, they did the Jesus first. Mm-hmm. They lied on him. Mm-hmm. They whipped him. By his stripes, you were healed. It was because of his stripes, your mind can be renewed. Yeah. It is because of his stripes, you can be whole. So they did it to him first, so that you can get the victory. They whooped him with a cat of nine tails. Mm-hmm. And in the cat of nine tails, there were hooks. Mm-hmm. Metal hooks, and it was glass fragments. So when they hit it and they pulled the skin, every time they did that, it was a healing and a blessing and a sign of your victory. So let's thank God. He's there. He's in that situation with you. And sometimes when we make our decisions, we take God out. When we say yes, when we want to say no, we take God out.
Because God is showing you signs all along of the right answer, and you know what that right answer is.
You know what it is.
But your mind and your heart is two different things. Sometimes your heart will get you hurt.
Your heart will get you killed if you're in that situation. Because you're going to love that very thing that is hurting you. And in loving that very thing, you put that thing before God. You put that man before God.
You put that man before yourself.
You put that man before you. Absolutely right. And so that's why God can't intervene. God is not intrusive. You have to invite him in. You have to invite him into the situation.
Yeah, no matter how severe the situation, he's going to be there if you really, really need him. Trust me.
And the Bible says faith without work is dead. So you can invite him in. he can bring you to the door, but if you don't do the work, if you don't open your mouth, if you don't tell the situation because you're protecting your abuser, you took God out. You took him out. And don't be afraid because he's with you. And God, if God is with you, who can go against you? Nobody.
Keep sweat, boys.
Nothing can separate you from the love of God in this situation. And I thank you guys for tuning in to the Elders Corner. Kiki, you was an amazing host today. And we talked about some real serious situations, guys. Listen, y'all see this cough? This is a dry cough. Yeah, because I done coughed a few times. Y'all done seen this yellow cough. Let me just go ahead and get it out the way. Y'all know I smoke cigarettes. Y'all know I got a problem with them. So I've been trying to, drink orange juice. Y'all see the orange juice? So, and it ain't got no alcohol in it. Okay, so don't play with me, people. No. We talked about some very serious issues during this COVID-19 time. It's getting better with the COVID-19, but a lot of people are still hurting. A lot of people are being hurt by being caged in with their abusers, and don't have any way out. You can type help in the comments. If you leave your number, if you leave some kind of sign on there, I will call the 1-800 domestic abuse. They will contact you. I will pray for you. I will contact my pastor. He has connections, and we will try to get you the best help we can to get you out of this situation. And know that God is with you. And know that in this situation, it is up to you to activate the power and the Holy Ghost and the God Spirit within you to help you get out of this situation. And I thank you for tuning in to the Elders Corner. Bye.